What we need to do at this point is call the agent back and let them know where we need to offer on this particular property in order to get it done. Hey, this is Tim with ABC Homes, or hey, this is Tim. It was a pleasure speaking with you earlier. I met with my team. For us to close on this property, where we can come in at is at 425, right? That's what we're talking about, 425. And sometimes I just shoot them straight if they're more of a straight shooter. Sometimes I'll say, hey, this property needs a lot of work. If it does need a lot of work, we really analyze this tooth and nail, and we need to come at 425 on this property. If anything, I'm putting this out there and then stop, pause, see what they say. Because they're either going to think, hey, that works. Hey, that doesn't work. Maybe that works. Let them reply. Right, I've had agents say, yeah, absolutely, yeah, we can go ahead, we can get that written up right now. I've had agents be like, oh, you know what, that's like a little too low. All right, well, now we have to work with them. Like, okay, well, we really crunched our numbers, and that's where we can come in at to make it work. Where do you think we need to be to make it work? Because just because they say, hey, that's not around where we need to be at, maybe they tell you it's $430, $5,000 above your price that you're offering.
Right.
And now, you know immediately you can make this deal work. You analyzed it, and bare minimum, you're making a $5,000 wholesale fee.
Yeah.
Like, that still works.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I've seen people do this, but like if the agent says, hey, that's not, where we need to be at on this deal, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you later. Like you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's not going to work out. So we have to work with them on these offers. Now, I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of agents throughout the years tell me, Alex, you know what? That offer is not going to work.
Yeah.
You know what? And then I've had dozens and dozens of deals where they told me that. I say, well, an offer is better than no offer. How about we just get it in? At the very least, it could be a backup offer. I just know this is going to be a no-nonsense, genuine cash offer that we can stick to. We're not going to drag our feet. We're not going to wait till the nth hour, get under contract, and then ask for some $100,000 price reduction like other people do in this business.
Yeah.
Okay, so $425,000. Right, I've had a lot of agents tell me, hey, that isn't going to work, but we need to get that offer in. Right, an offer is better than no offer. So let's say the agent in this scenario is going to be open to accepting our $425,000 offer. What we need to do as professionals at this particular point in time, we know when dealing on the market, the agent's going to write this contract, the listing agent, in this situation where they're representing us. We have to send the listing agent, what we need to send them is the purchaser name. So we have to send them our close date. When do we want to close? We always put 14 days or sooner on there. That's normal for a cash transaction, and that's normal for any cash buyer to close on. We put the EMD amount, so that's the earnest money deposit, typically a refundable deposit that's due within 72 hours. Roughly, rule of thumb is anywhere from 1% to 5% of the purchase price of the property. What we do in San Diego is we either make it $5,000 or $10,000. So that means within 72 hours, $5,000 or $10,000 is going to be due, whatever you put there, okay? Now, because of the way we do it, we talk to cash buyers first. That's typically due within 72 hours. Our goal is to wholesale within 72 hours, so we don't have to put any money into the deal. If we have to put money into the deal in that particular situation, and you don't have $5,000 or $10,000, borrow it, find it. That's exactly what I did when I had no money. So you can find that money, you can borrow it from someone else and pay them 10% on what they lend you if this is able to be a successful transaction. If you borrow $5,000, it's refundable at the end of the day. Hey, if I'm able to close this deal, help me close this deal, and you borrow $5,000, I'll pay you $500. So now that $10,000 wholesale fee, paying $500, you make $9,500. It's a quick way to get that capital. So, right, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, do I need that? No, you don't. And I've been able to do it without doing that. That's always our goal, to not put in the deposit. But even if you put in the deposit yourself and you have to, you'll get paid back your deposit and your wholesale fee. So it'll make you whole. It doesn't come out of your wholesale fee. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
For someone who doesn't have that capital, you mentioned you can find it. Like where would you go about finding that then?
Okay, if you've been smart, you've been going to RIAs, you've also been meeting other real estate agents and other real estate brokers, potentially other mentors. You may have family members, you may have people at your office. It's the same exact thing, right? When I raise money for a fix and flip deal, you raise it from private money lenders. There's people all around you that have money, right? What about your friend that has a great job, right? That supports you, like a best friend. If you don't have any friends, then people that go to Real Estate Investing Association meetings, there's private money lenders there. There's people that have money there. Some of my first private money lenders, I met them at Real Estate Investing Association meetings. So people I borrowed hundreds of thousands of dollars from having no initial relationship with them at all. So that's one easy way to get that capital. Now, the most important thing that we need to send the agent and have it be in the contract in our offer terms is an inspection contingency. This is your backout clause. What I recommend when you're starting out, have a 7-day inspection contingency. What this means is you have 7 days to back out of the contract due to the inspection of the property. So if you go there one day and then the next day you don't like the shade of grass, it's a little greener or less green, the property didn't pass your personal inspection, you're able to back out. So this 7-day window, 7-day inspection contingency, that's your backout clause. This is how you stay protected. This is how you can get a property under contract and you back out due to the inspection when you're not able to close a deal. So you have to live within those 7 days. You have to wholesale this house within those 7 days. Do not, if you're starting out as a beginner, do not submit an offer without an inspection contingency clause. So when working on the market with real estate agents, what we're using is the State Association, Realtor Association contract. I haven't seen any Association of Realtors contract that didn't have the inspection contingency clause in there. You just put in the number of days. So when we tell the agent 7 days, they're able to put that in there. So it's very, very important. Don't want you to forget that. That's how we're able to do this risk-free and back out. Okay? Now, if you don't have a business, and whether you have a business, what we need is a proof of funds to submit with your offer. This is another pro move, right? Most people will talk with the agent, say you do everything right, you send them the offer terms. They need proof of funds. What a proof of funds is, it can be a bank statement, it could be a PDF, it could be a letter that shows that you, Tim, you have access to the capital to buy this property. In this situation, this one, it's $425. You have at least access to $425,000. You don't have that, right?
Yes.
A lot of people don't have that. How do you get that? Well, you can get that from hard money lenders in your area. Hard money lenders are people that lend money to fix and flippers. They want to lend money to fix and flippers. So if you contact them, if you go to Google, type in hard money lenders in your city name, and you contact them, sometimes they have proof of funds on their website, and you can get it from there. You can call them and say, hey, I'm a wholesaler and fix and flipper in the area. I'd love to work with you. Are you able to give out a proof of funds by any chance so I can get some of these properties under contract? Boom. That's the easiest way to do it. I've gotten several letters from hard money lenders, bank statements from hard money lenders that I've been able to use as a proof of funds. Or if most people don't know a high net worth individual, you can utilize their bank statement and fill out an additional letter that says, hey, I authorize Tim to be able to access these funds for this particular deal, and just have them sign it.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways to do that. And then what we'll do as well, there's a couple other strategies. I'll just put that in the description below on how you can get those online in even a faster manner too. So you submit the proof of funds with your email offer terms to the agent. And now, let's say you do have an LLC. The next step is, if you have an LLC, you just want to include either the articles of incorporation, or sometimes called the articles of organization, or your operating agreement. The point of this is to show that you, Tim, if this is your LLC, you are the CEO or an authorized signer for the company. If you don't have a company, then it's completely fine. You don't need that.
Yeah.
But this is about being a pro. You want to give the agent everything that they need to be confident in the offer you're sending them and to fill it out, so they're not coming back to you and saying, does Tim actually have access to the capital? And now they didn't even need to ask you for that. That's very important, right? What most people will do is they don't do that. They don't send this with the offer, and the agent has to ask you that. Anytime an agent has to ask you for something, typically means in some ways, you don't know what you're doing, and we eliminate any questions the agent asks us, right? So now when we send this to them via email, the offer terms, we let them know we're going to send the offer terms with our proof of funds. That way we can fill out the offer, and then you can go ahead, send it to me. I'll sign it and get it back to you as soon as possible. Typically, they'll fill out the contract, the state association contract. Usually takes 5, 10, 15 minutes. On that call, I call the close call, you can say, when do you think, once I send that to you, when do you think you'll be able to get that over to me? So now they give you a deadline. They might, if it's 3:30 right now, hey, if you send that over in 5 minutes, I'll get that to you by 4. Okay, perfect. So now we have a deadline. We expect that by 4. We can look at our email, see that come in by 4. If it's 4:03, it's not in there. I'm calling that agent saying, hey, I checked my spam folder. Just wanted to make sure you didn't send the contract and I didn't get it yet. Right? Follow up with them to get this contract. It's not a done deal till it's a done deal. It's not done till it's signed. So now the agent sends it over to us. We digitally sign it. Usually we're going to sign it through something called either Zip Forms or DocuSign, just an online digital signing service. And you want to validate, make sure that all the terms that you sent the agent are in there. So you sign the contract. It will either be automatically sent back to the agent or you need to send it back to them via email. Now you've signed the contract. This doesn't mean the property is under contract yet, right? That's our goal, to get under a contract so that we can then wholesale and assign the rights of this contract to a cash buyer. So once we sign the contract, guess what? All the seller needs to do is sign the contract, and now we have a binding agreement. So at this particular point in time, if you talked with the agent, you can also ask them, when does the seller plan on reviewing offers, or when does the seller plan on accepting this offer? They may say, hey, this evening, we'll sign it, I'll send it back to you, right? So typically, once the seller signs it, they'll send back the executed agreement, the completely signed agreement, to verify that, hey, all parties signed it. You want that. That verifies that, hey, we now have a binding agreement, the timelines kick in, we have a 3-day EMD due in 72 hours. We have our 7-day inspection contingency, and the goal is to close in 14 days.
And there you have it. That's exactly how to get MLS wholesale deals under contract. Be sure to be on the lookout for the next video in this series. And if you want to build a hyper-profitable wholesaling business, then check out my full in-depth training at realestateskills.com/watch. See you there, and happy wholesaling.